This Nick is a local alcoholic. This morning, the villagers were worshipping the gods, but he suddenly appeared and disturbed the scene. He not only mocked the superstitious people, he tried to use the offerings of the gods. He has no faith. He thinks they're all fools. When he left, he took away the wine that the people had offered to the gods. And that night, he had an accident. Nick went crazy. He pierced his eyes and mouth with a needle. That was his punishment for disrespecting the gods today. After his lesson, no one dared to disrespect the gods anymore. That day, Jack from out of town came to the village looking for his brother. The kind Anna asked her friend John to show him the way. Jack's brother was a monk at the temple. This time, he came to inform his brother of his father's death. But what he didn't expect was his brother was no longer here. The monk said his brother killed the master 4 years ago. Then he disappeared. Jack didn't believe his brother would kill anyone, so he begged the master of the temple to allow him to stay and find out the truth. The young monk told him, "The power goes out at 9 p.m. here. As long as the lights go out, do not leave the house, because night is the time for ghosts. The living cannot go out to affect them." Jack is an atheist. He doesn't believe in this stuff. After he put the stuff down, he went out to check it out. The master told him, "All the people here are made into dolls when they die. People put the ashes of the dead into the dolls. Whenever they're not doing anything, they'll come and worship them. The more they worship, the more their dead relatives will protect them from harm." The person in charge of storing people's ashes sent from the temple, but when he learned of Jack's intention, his face changed in an instant. Jack didn't notice anything unusual. He continued to play outside at night. He noticed a doll seemed to move. He took the torch of his mobile phone to take a closer look, but he heard a movement from behind him. The figure behind him turned towards him at some point. Jack was a bit scared to go forward. The next moment, fortunately, it was just a dream. Now it's dawn. John came to wake him up for dinner. John is called a fool around here. He's not very bright. Sometimes he acts like a child, so a lot of people like to bully him. Jack couldn't stand it any longer. He didn't expect this monk named Wool would be so bad. He argued with Wool, but no one here would protect him. Everyone thought his brother was a murderer, and they don't look at him in a good light either. It was a tense standoff. Unbeknownst to them, the peaceful village was about to suffer a catastrophe. In the afternoon, Anna came to bring food to her brother. Wool heard that his mother was sick, so he gave him a doll. He asked him to make a wish on it. These dolls are very useful. Anna accepted Wool's offer. She didn't realize it was a countdown to his death. When she got back, Anna took the doll out, but at night, he became disorientated. His mother thought he'd been bewitched, so she rushed him to a master, but Anna didn't believe in it. The master said he couldn't help him. Anna had no choice but to go home. Jack heard about it and came over. He thought Anna should be taken to a hospital, but the monks were convinced Anna was haunted by something unclean, and his symptoms got worse and worse. It wasn't long before his mother locked him in his room. Jack couldn't stand it, entered the room. He didn't realize that Anna was banging her head against the wall. Anna didn't know anyone. She just wanted to go into the woods. There's a lot of dolls in here. It's the most haunted place in the village. Anna ran up the hill, step by step. He climbed to the statue. He knelt down and prayed, as if to ask the gods to drive out what was inside him. Seeing him like this, and his brother followed suit, but Jack still didn't believe in the gods. He thought it was just a statue. It wouldn't help anyone, so he picked up something and smashed it. Sam sensed something was wrong. He stopped him from doing any more damage. He told Jack, "It's no use smashing the idol. It'll only make Jack be hated by the villagers. One must have a sense of fear. Otherwise, you never know what will happen next." Jack smashed his own hand with a stone. The people were so scared that they rushed forward to stop him. But even so, Jack was still crazy. He wouldn't let go of the stone, like he wouldn't stop until his hand was broken. Sam saw what was happening, and he had someone hold Jack down. Then he took out his pendant and hung it around Jack's neck. This finally brought Jack back to his senses. When he came to his senses, Jack was very scared. He had just smashed the idol's hand. He smashed his own hand uncontrollably. Is there really a god in this world? He went up to Sam and helped him fix the idol's hand. He hoped that the gods would not blame him again. There's been no news from Anna in the last few days, and his brother was worried. So he and Sam went home to see him, but they searched for a long time, but they couldn't find Anna. They found him in the water. After Anna's death, the villagers made a doll of him and put it in front of his house. But at the funeral, John found something at Anna's house. It was a voodoo doll that Mongol had given him earlier. Each voodoo doll was made in a different way. They can't be used to protect the worshipper or to cast evil spells on them. The one in Anna's house was a water demon. That's why Anna died in the water. If we find the person who sent the doll to Anna, we can't find out who killed her. It occurred to Anna's brother. He'd seen Anna talking to Will before. Will always liked Anna. Could it be that Anna didn't like him? He used witchcraft on Anna. Everyone rushed to Will's place, but there was no one there. Will's disappearance made them even more certain that he was the killer, but they couldn't find him. There was nothing they could do. Jack went to the statue and asked for help. He said no matter what it took, he wanted to find Will and his brother, and as soon as he said that, he found the body of a monk buried in the ground. The people came to dig. They found that the dead man was Will, who had disappeared. Will was accompanied by Anna's bracelet. This convinced everyone that he was the murderer, but there was still one question: who killed Will? Jack wanted to call the police, but the mayor wouldn't let him. He thought it would hurt the village's reputation and the threat of the gods. The best thing to do would be to lock down the temple for now and then dispose of Will's body. The master agreed with the chief, but they didn't realize Will wasn't the last person to die here. The next day, the temple monk was hanged from a tree. The master said he was depressed. He could have killed himself, but Jack didn't think so because the monk was fat. He couldn't have climbed a tree that high. The two deaths, is it the same person who did it? Jack decided to stay and find out. He saw a doll that looked like his brother. He thought his brother had been made into a doll, but Sam told him his brother was really just missing. Sam said it was all about the guru. The guru wanted to make money from the idols. The master refused, so he killed the master and planted it on Jack's brother. He thought Jack's brother might have been killed, so he wanted Jack to stay out of it, but Jack wouldn't leave. He even went out to search at night, but the master had already discovered his whereabouts. The master sent out his voodoo dolls and told them to get rid of Jack. Luckily, Sam came to the scene and saved him. Sam thought there was more to Will than meets the eye. He took Jack to check on Will's body. He didn't realize that John had come to the scene. They found Will's body had disappeared. It looks like the master did it again. He must have used Will's body to make the doll. Maybe he killed Jack's brother too and made him into a doll. That's why we haven't found him for so long. The next day, Jack and John went to collect evidence, but on the way, they met the village chief. The mayor was the master's accomplice. He knocked Jack out and gave him to the master. When Jack woke up, he was about to be made into a doll. Luckily, John was able to tell the others in time. That's how they found him. The place where Jack was trapped was a secret room in the temple. Many monks have never been here, so they wouldn't know. The figures made by the master were kept here. The dolls were awakened. No one here was a match for the doll. Luckily, one of the monks recognized the identity of the doll. It was no one else. It was Will, the man who killed Anna. Seeing Will trying to hurt someone else, the monk told Sam to take out his pendant. Once it touched the doll, it will turn them into ashes. Will's doll is gone, but the master has other dolls. He's not a master at all. He's a sorcerer. He's a sorcerer, and he's killed a lot of people. He hid in a village in the forest. The sorcerer released another doll. This time it was Jack's brother. Jack did not want to hurt his brother. John had to push the sorcerer. The sorcerer was destroyed. His dolls will also stop attacking. The brother finally remembered the past. He said his last goodbye to Jack. Then he disappeared completely. After this incident, Jack took John away from here. John had no family left. Neither did he. After all this time together, he's come to think of John as a brother, but he wouldn't know. After he left, we discovered a terrible truth. That the doll found at Anna's house wasn't actually given to him by Will. There was a monk who was a friend of Will's. He saw that Will gave Anna a red doll, but the one John found was yellow. Thinking that John also liked Anna, the people guessed the truth. John was afraid that Anna would fall in love with someone else, so he made a doll and killed her. After Anna's death, John became even crazier. He killed the fat monk he always hated. He also killed Will, who had been bullying him.